Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be exploring
Hello.
the essential skills of active inquiry and listening within the context of consulting and helping relationships. This topic is drawn from Edgar Schein's insightful 1999 book titled Process Consultation Revisited: Building the Helping Relationship. Schein, a renowned psychologist and organizational development expert, offers valuable principles for consultants and helpers to establish trust and rapport with their clients. The central thesis we'll be examining is that active inquiry and listening are crucial for equilibrating status between the consultant and client. But what exactly does this mean? In essence, Schein argues that effective helpers must actively work to balance the inherent power dynamics at play when someone seeks assistance. Through intentional inquiry and attentive listening, consultants can build their clients' confidence and create a partnership of equals. This equilibrium enables the openness and vulnerability necessary for tackling complex challenges. As we delve deeper, we'll break down specific techniques and principles to enhance your inquiry and listening skills. By the end of this video, you'll have a fresh appreciation for how these two vital abilities can transform your helping relationships. So, let's get started. When a client reaches out for help, they often experience a complex mix of emotions. Seeking assistance can trigger feelings of inferiority, vulnerability, and dependence. After all, admitting that you need support requires humility and trust. As consultants, it's tempting to step into the role of the all-knowing expert. We may feel pressure to prove our worth by dispensing wisdom and solutions. However, Schein cautions against falling into this expert trap. By positioning ourselves as superior authorities, we risk further diminishing the client's sense of competence and autonomy. Instead, our goal should be to build the client's confidence in their own problem-solving abilities. We want to convey that they have the capacity to overcome challenges, and that our role is to support and guide them in that process. This empowerment mindset is key to establishing a collaborative dynamic. Schein emphasizes that reaching status equilibrium, a point where both parties feel valued and respected, is critical for fostering openness. When clients perceive us as partners rather than experts, they're more likely to share sensitive information and reveal the true nature of their difficulties. To illustrate this point, imagine a leader who is struggling with a team conflict. If the consultant takes an expert stance and immediately prescribes a solution, the leader may feel judged or undermined. They may withhold important context about personalities or hidden agendas. In contrast, if the consultant adopts a curious, non-judgmental posture and invites the leader to share their perspective, a more nuanced picture emerges. The leader feels heard and validated and is more willing to explore underlying issues. As we'll see in the next section, skillful inquiry and listening are the tools that enable us to create this equilibrium and access vital information. By mastering these abilities, we can transform our relationships with clients and unlock their full potential. In pure inquiry, the consultant's main objective is to encourage the client to share their story and perspective freely. The consultant acts as an attentive listener, creating space for the client to express themselves without interference. To facilitate this process, the consultant uses open-ended prompts like, "Tell me more about that," or "Can you give me an example?" These invitations signal genuine curiosity and interest in the client's experience. Importantly, the consultant avoids leading questions that might steer the conversation in a particular direction. Instead, they allow the client to structure the narrative according to their own priorities and sense-making. This approach helps to build trust and validates the client's expertise in their own situation. As the relationship develops, the consultant may move into diagnostic inquiry.
Hey.
Here, the consultant begins to gently influence the client's thought process by asking questions that explore emotions, motivations, and potential actions. For example, the consultant might ask, "How did you feel when that happened?" Or, "What were your reasons for taking that approach?" These questions prompt the client to reflect on their inner experience and consider different aspects of the situation. The consultant may also inquire about options the client is considering, such as, "What alternatives have you thought about?" This line of questioning encourages the client to generate their own solutions and think through possibilities. It is important to note that in diagnostic inquiry, the consultant is still primarily focused on the client's mental territory. They are not yet inserting their own ideas or opinions, but rather helping the client to explore their own thoughts more deeply. The third type of inquiry, confrontive inquiry, represents a significant shift in the consultant's role. In this mode, the consultant begins to share their own reactions, ideas, and hypotheses about the client's situation. For instance, the consultant might say, "I'm wondering if there might be another way to look at this issue." Or, "Based on what you've shared, it seems like there could be some underlying communication problems." These statements introduce new perspectives and gently challenge the client's assumptions. Confrontive inquiry pushes the client to consider alternative viewpoints and can be particularly useful for uncovering blind spots or entrenched patterns. However, it also carries the most risk of triggering defensiveness or resistance. Therefore, Schein cautions that confrontive inquiry should only be used once a solid relationship equilibrium has been established. The client needs to trust that the consultant has their best interests in mind and feel secure enough to engage with differing opinions. In the dance of consultation, timing is everything. As consultants, we must develop a keen sensitivity to when the client is ready for a particular type of intervention. This readiness is conveyed through both the content of what they share and the tone in which they express it. Schein advises us to practice constructive opportunism, seizing moments when the client offers something meaningful to introduce a new insight or perspective. For example, if a client reveals a recurring pattern of conflict with a colleague, the consultant might say, "It seems like this relationship is really important to you. What would it take to have a more positive dynamic?" Constructive opportunism requires a willingness to take calculated risks. We can always play it safe or stick to a predetermined script. Sometimes, a well-timed observation or question can unlock a breakthrough moment for the client. At the same time, we must accept that errors are inevitable. Even the most skilled consultants will occasionally misread a situation, ask a question that falls flat, or offer an interpretation that doesn't resonate. The key is to welcome these missteps as valuable learning opportunities. When an intervention doesn't land as intended, we can get curious about what that reveals about the client's worldview, communication style, or readiness for change. Perhaps we need to slow down, back up, and gather more information. Or maybe we need to adjust our approach to better align with the client's preferences and needs. Regularly reviewing our interventions, both successful and unsuccessful, is essential for honing our craft. We can ask ourselves questions like, what worked well in that interaction? What could I have done differently? How can I adapt my style to be more effective with this particular client? Importantly, we must also remain mindful of our professional obligations. As consultants, we have a responsibility to act in the client's best interests, maintain confidentiality, and operate within the bounds of our expertise. If we sense that a client's needs exceed our capabilities, we must be willing to refer them to other resources or specialists. In addition to the 3 types of active inquiry, Schein introduces 2 powerful frameworks that can shape our consulting practice: appreciative inquiry and metaphors of change. Appreciative inquiry offers an alternative to the traditional problem-solving mindset. Instead of focusing solely on what's wrong or broken, appreciative inquiry invites us to explore what's working well, what strengths the client can build on, and what ideals they aspire to. This shift in perspective can be transformative, opening up new possibilities and energizing the change process. As consultants, it's also crucial to be aware of the metaphors we use to describe organizations and change. Do we talk about organizations as machines that need fixing, or as living systems that evolve and adapt? Our choice of metaphors can subtly influence how we approach our work and what interventions we gravitate towards. Similarly, we must attune ourselves to the metaphors our clients use. If a leader describes their team as being stuck in the mud, that paints a different picture than if they say, the team is navigating uncharted waters.
Yeah, boy.
By listening closely to our clients' language, we can gain insight into their mental models and tailor our approach accordingly. When we appreciate and build on our clients' metaphors, we create a shared language for exploring challenges and co-creating solutions. This alignment enables what Schein calls generative learning, a deeper level of insight and growth that goes beyond simply solving immediate problems. As we wrap up our exploration of Schein's insights on active inquiry and listening, let's recap the 10 key principles of process consultation that he outlines in this chapter. Always try to be helpful. Always stay in touch with the current reality. Access your ignorance. Everything you do is an intervention. It is the client who owns the problem and the solution. Go with the flow. Timing is crucial. Be constructively opportunistic with confrontive interventions. Everything is data. Errors are inevitable. Learn from them. When in doubt, share the problem. While each of these principles offers valuable guidance, there's one overarching theme that ties them together: the central goal of creating psychological safety for the client. Psychological safety is the foundation upon which effective helping relationships are built. It's the sense that one can speak openly, take risks, and explore new ideas without fear of judgment, ridicule, or retribution. When clients feel psychologically safe, they're more likely to share sensitive information, admit vulnerabilities, and engage in authentic learning and change. As consultants, we foster psychological safety through our presence, our inquiry, and our listening. We convey genuine care and respect for our clients. We create a non-judgmental space where they can process their experiences and experiment with new ways of thinking and being. So, as you embark on your own journey as a consultant or helper, keep these principles close at hand. Use them as guideposts for building strong, generative relationships with your client. And remember, the most powerful tool you bring to any engagement is your own commitment to creating a safe, supportive space for growth and change.